Hi, everyone, and welcome to the WP Minute. I'm Eric Karkovac. Today's episode features a segment from my interview with developer and core contributor Elliott Richmond. Elliott stopped by to give us an inside look at WordPress Playground and to show us how to harness it for client training, prototyping, and more. Now, you can catch the entire episode over on our WP Minute Plus channel. Visit thewpminute.com for all the details. I know, a lot of us has probably heard about Playground, but I suspect a lot of people don't actually know what it is. Could you explain a little bit about what Playground does? Because I think you've actually made some contributions to it, haven't you?
My only contribution is basically just talking to the core developer development team at WordCamp. I was actually contributing on the AI core team when I was there. But yeah, Playground is basically an instance of WordPress that lives in your browser with a bundle of plugins that you can add to it and a particular theme. But that coupled with blueprints is a tool that can be used for prototyping a website very quickly. And recently it just struck me that you can use it for training. So I do have a client that have multiple users that use the same website, and we are basically using the block editor now. They've been using the site for maybe 15 years.
Okay.
And it's a big leap into, it's a big learning curve for them to learn how to edit their new site in the block editor. So coupling that content in a browser with Playground and blueprints just makes for a brilliant sort of training session for them, as well as a reference point that they can come back to and refresh their memory on stuff, or try something out, or try a plugin, or try a new theme. It's really good for that kind of process.
Now, so this lives in your browser, and we had an episode a few months back with the team behind mywordpress.net, which is also a local install. But I was wondering, how do you share something that you've created in Playground? Does it have a permanent URL, or is it something that once they access wherever you're storing it, it automatically just downloads to their browser then?
Well, this is where Blueprint comes into play. So Blueprint is basically a JavaScript JSON object, effectively, that pulls in various different methods. So you can pinpoint a theme, you can pinpoint content, you can pinpoint plugins, and then you apply that to WordPress, the Playground WordPress.net as a parameter blueprint URL, and you host that somewhere. And then within your blueprint, as long as you've got hosted files, whether they're for a theme or for a plugin or even for content, when that URL is fired up, it reads that, and then it reads where your GitHub or from GitHub or hosted files, and then it just installs everything ready to go in the browser. And it's a live demo with real content, but it only lives for that session. So it's built with WebAssembly, so it's a one session only. It does stay persistent. You can save stuff to a database, and you can export stuff if you make changes. And it's particularly powerful as well if you have a plugin or a theme that you want to you link in, and you want to make some changes or development changes and then test them in the browser. You can then deploy them back to your GitHub as a PR and merge things in that way, or improve that code. So it's really good for especially the block themes. And the sort of GitHub and version control became decoupled with the new sort of site editor and developing block themes. But Blueprint actually with Playground makes it really powerful to bring that back together, so a developer can version control their source code effectively.
Okay, so you can go in and actually, I can write a post and it will be there the next time because of the blueprint, essentially.
You can save it persistent in the browser, and then when it comes in, that'll save it as local data. But then, yeah, it won't. It's only accessible to you, really, in your browser session.
Gotcha.
If the blueprint references a GitHub plugin that you've developed and you make changes to, every time that blueprint is loaded, it loads the latest version of that plugin. So for custom developments or themes or plugins that you've developed, it's really useful for that as well. And it
Okay.
stays current with the GitHub, your version control.